Our football is indeed coming back, and we are working tirelessly to ensure that our football will rise to the very high standard and it will bring us joy, because football is something that unites the country, especially Ghanaians. We love our football, and we cannot go a day without thinking about how the growth of the game is going. And we are hopeful that the current GFA administration will do their utmost best to ensure that Ghana football gets to the very top. My name is Butala Yakubu. We are live in the studios of Star Times at the channel 247, and we are continuing our coverage of the Ghana Premier League. Match day 32 is what we are looking at, and we started yesterday at the Accra Sports Stadium, where Hearts of Oak were in action, and finally Hearts won a game. We will be talking about that one, but today we will be in the Bono region, because it is Bechem United who are coming up against Aduana at the Bechem Park there, the Nana Fosu Jiabo Park. That is where this game will be coming from, and it's a cracker, it's a derby, so it is a game that promises to be an interesting one. As I told you, match day 32 started yesterday with Hearts of Oak beating Nations FC by 2-0. We'll talk extensively about that game. Then today we have Bechem United Aduana coming from you at the Nana Fosu Jiabo Park. Legon Cities would also be playing Bofo Akwatano. Tomorrow we'll host loads of the games to wrap up match day 32 of the Ghana Premier League, because it is Asante Kotoko who will take on Great Olympics at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. We'll be bringing you that game live on your screens. But Bechem Chelsea would also be taking on Real Tamale United, with Dreams FC coming up against Karela United. Mediema would also face Heart of Lions, and in Swaterman will be playing Accra Lions. League leaders Samatex would be looking at getting closer to clinching their first ever Premier League title as they host Bibiani Gold Stars at the Nana Institute Park. So these are all the games coming up in match day 32. One down, one to go today, because Bechem United will be in action against Aduana. My name is Mutala Yakubu. You're also watching us on Max TV, and I have company in the studio, because the usual suspects yesterday, I had them, and today they are back here. Nana Edu is here with us, and of course Francis Aboyibo Blackgate is also here with us, and you'll be hearing from them. Gentlemen, let's go straight into action and talk about Hearts of Oak yesterday. After the game, social media was buzzing. Their fans were on cloud 9, because finally the Phobians have won a game, and their fans feel relieved because it takes them further away from the relegation zone.
Yeah, if you look at what they did yesterday, they saw the writing on the wall. They came out of the blocks, gun blazing on all cylinders. In the first 20 minutes, Hearts of Oak basically put the brakes on Nations FC, and Nations FC got rattled. In that first 20 minutes, Hearts of Oak managed to get the opener through Kasim Sisi, and they played some patterns, some brilliant patterns yesterday in that game. And then the second goal by Hamza Issa, he showed strength, he showed composure, and he showed his leader killer instinct in front of goal. To be able to hit that ball with so much power, zoom past the goalkeeper to cushion the lead for them 2-0, heading into both home or away from the lads. And yesterday, the players really took matters into their own hands, and they duly delivered at Accra Sports Stadium under the floodlights.
As of which team joins, probably Bofo Akwatano and out to you to Division 1. It looks like the 41-point Hearts of Oak game and tomorrow's game in week 32 of the Ghana Premier League.
Now, Francis, you were talking about consistency, that the Hearts of Oak first 11 has not been consistent, but I think Abubakar Wata finds himself in that position where he has to always loosen the boat, bring another boat, tighten it to see which one fits better. And once you keep going that way, your team does not have consistency. But he's in a tight corner where he also has to get the result. So it is down to always changing something.
Mutala, you know, when you play football before, when you are playing and the results are not good, the coach cannot go with the same starting 11, because he has to chop and change the team until he get the permutations right. So if you look at Coach Abubakar Watara yesterday before the game, he said something which Nana Edu didn't sit well with him. Nana Edu said, why would the coach said if you are not ready to play for him, then he will not put you in the team? He shouldn't say that this is the time he need all the players. He has been training with the players on the training pitch, and he can basically see their body posture, their mentality in terms of their concentration level on the game and everything. So he got to change the team. And yesterday, like he was saying, he dropped Agbesima for Opon Afrani. When Opon Afrani partnered Winnie yesterday, We never saw any slack defending from them.
Yeah.
They basically reduced Nation FC to have chances across the entire 90 minutes. And the way they went about their business speaks volume. And now the players will pick a clue from it. You can feel that, yes, if I am not pulling my weight, the coach or the gaffer will haul me over the team. And he will replace me with someone who will equally step into my shoes and deliver. Yesterday, look at the partnership between Kasim Cisse and Hamza Issa. Against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, it was Issa Kuka and then Hamza Issa. It was of no existence. We saw them against Aduana. Someone said even if they allowed them to play extra 1 hour, Hearts of Oak were never going to score against Aduana. That tells you how lethargic they were in that game. They didn't create enough clear-cut goal scoring chances. Against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they didn't create clear-cut goal scoring chances. But yesterday, in that first half, we saw how Hearts of Oak play with purpose, they play with vision, they play with aggression. They were all over Nations FC. And the coach of Nation FC, Kasim Mingle, said they got rattled in the first half. His team never came to the party in the first half, but after the substitutions in the second half, that was when his team started playing. But at that particular point in time, it was a little bit too late for them to be able to claw back the goals that they considered against Hearts of Oak. And if you look at Hearts of Oak, yesterday they started with a 4-4-2, they switched it to a 5-3-2, and then to some extent 4-5-1. So if you look at what Ouattara did yesterday, he basically managed the game properly for Hearts of Oak. And yesterday, he, together with the players, and the paycheck right out there under the floodlights at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Of course. But it seems gradually Hearts of Oak are finding a number one. Kwesi Nketiah, he's been in post for them for some time now. They've fidgeted with their goalkeeping department, but it seems there's a bit of consistency with that department at the moment, because we've seen Kwesi Nketiah in the last 3 or 4 games for Hearts of Oak.
I think among the goalkeepers in the Hearts of Oak team, per what I've seen in recent times, I think he's the best now. Even though I don't think going forward he should be the number one goalkeeper for Hearts of Oak. They will need an upgrade. And they can go into the market, the likes of Benjamin Asaro for Olympics, or Ben Satra Gregory of Bechem Chelsea, Kofi Ban of Samatex Football Club. He's also doing well. Ganiu of Karela. When you go to Mediama, you remember former King Faisal number one goalkeeper?
Yeah.
He's on the bench for Mediama because of the presence of Felix T. So they are good goalkeepers in the system. Dan Lad is on the bench for Asante Kotoko. Moise Poitier is on the bench.
Make a move to Accra to Folk.
You
know that is going to be difficult.
We should think about the future of these guys, not because of the clubs they are playing for.
Because you know Dan Lad and his affinity to Asante Kotoko, the kind of relationship that Lad has with Kotoko.
So I think it's that is deep. Important than Lad being the number one goalkeeper.
I'm not saying it's important.
Lad, there are 2 games squad the Asante Kotoko and he will be in the Blasters.
No, Minkasa, I'm saying the love and the connection that Lad has with Asante Kotoko, it is too deep for him to cross borders or cross the carpet.
There are some things I don't want to say on TV.
No, Dan Lad practically grew up with
what I know within the club.
Yeah.
It will be difficult for Dan Lad to be the official number one for Asante Kotoko again.
No problem. But Dan Lad could move elsewhere. That is what I'm saying. He could join Bechem United. He could join Samatex. There are lots of clubs.
So because I am saying you used to be a goalkeeper for Asante Kotoko.
Not used.
And you are no more a goalkeeper for Asante Kotoko. When Hearts is calling, he cannot go there.
Not used to be just a goalkeeper for Asante Kotoko. Dan Lad practically grew up with Asante Kotoko. He's Asante Kotoko through. He's Asante Kotoko through. If you are really describing somebody as a porcupine, then the lad fits that description. So I feel it will be difficult. In the case of Sulama, he's not from Ghana.
The last time I told you, Frederick Asari, me and Edu I know.
Yeah.
Is a typical House of Football supporter.
Okay.
The manager was here with us on the same show. He told you everything about Frederick Asari, who was close to signing for House of Football.
Okay.
These things, they are professional players.
Yes. Okay, so Frederick Asari did not end up joining House of Football. He's
now playing for Asante Kotoko.
That is a different ball game altogether.
In this situation, it looks like Kotoko doesn't need him again to become the number one goalkeeper for Kotoko. House of Football is available for him. And you are saying because why number one there must Asante Kotoko are captain and we here for him to join House of Football.
Francis, you have to come in. I don't want to play the devil's advocate here, but I am saying that because the lad has a strong connection with Asante Kotoko, it will be practically impossible for him to move to Hearts of Oak.
Well, Mutala, if you look at certain clubs and cultures and certain human beings, out there, it's difficult for certain players to cross roads. But in African football, I don't think we can go that terrain, because if Kotoko doesn't want you, it's your future on the line.
Yeah.
I understand where you are coming from. Player like Francesco Totti will not trade his Roma team for anything.
I understand.
Let's say a player like Raul Gonzalez, the former captain of Real Madrid, will never go to play for Barcelona.
Not even coaching.
Iniesta and then Xavi Hernandez.
They will not even think of coaching.
They will never think about coaching and playing for Real Madrid. Yeah. But if you come to Ghana, we've seen Charles Taylor, who basically won everything with Hearts of Oak, shockingly crossroad to Kumasi Asante Kotoko and came back. You understand? Because you can say Charles Taylor probably he's an Ashanti, so he can go and play for Kotoko and come
Charles
back.
Taylor didn't really grow up at Hearts of Oak. He was a great Olympic player before he moved on.
But the reality is we've seen some players crossroads, and it's doable unless the player doesn't want. It's all about how much are you offering me and how much.
Okay.
It's like a win-win bargain.
It seems you people are not putting this into perspective.
I'm putting it into this perspective.
I've not seen players cross borders.
It will be difficult. Yes, where you are coming from.
No, I am looking at Dan Lad as a homegrown player for Asante Kotoko.
I understand you. Homegrown player for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. How difficult will it be to cross roads and come to Accra Hearts of Oak?
Extremely difficult.
It will be extremely, but it's doable. It depends on the kind of treatment Kotoko will met out to him that will be able to play into his psyche or mentality. That will force him to play for Hearts of Oak. I don't think if Kotoko are paying him well and they are treating him well, you say he's coming to Hearts of Oak. No, that will not happen. It's one thing or the other. But hey, it's football. Never say never. It can happen.
But Mutala, despite everything, the Nketia guy has been, a good goalkeeper in the last few games for Hearts of Oak. This particular season, I heard him.
See, let me not cut you. Let me not cut you. See, Ghana here, it has been proven that the best goalkeepers, the best breeding ground for goalkeepers is in the National Division 1 league. Look at Frederick Asari. He came through the ranks from Division 1 to Accra Lions. As young as he was, we saw his exploits. I was shocked as to how Accra Lions allowed his contract to run out and then they have to leave on free transfer.
That is
you look at Felix Che.
The contract in Wua, you cannot get a player from Accra Lions.
You look at Felix Che. When he was with Karela initially, right? If my memory serves me, from Division 1. Then his contract got expired. He moved to Mediema. Look at him now, brilliant goalkeeper by all standard. You look at the Heart of Lions goalkeeper, Osai.
Yeah.
Fantastic goalkeeper last season in Division 1. This season, look at his exploits in the Premier League. He's mounting the goalpost for them.
Even the Dreams FC goalkeeper.
Dreams FC goalkeeper, Solomon Agbasi.
Yeah.
From Division 1 to the Premier League. Then now, this season, you look at I've scouted some goalkeepers. You look at Home Stars Football Club goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Suleimana Idrisu. He has 13 clean sheets in the Division 1.
Yeah.
And he's been courted by about 5 Premier League teams. And I've been shouting, Hearts of Oak, they should take a look at him. They should take a look at him. Because, Tagbe is from Ho. A fellow to Mr. Joe Aivo is his friend. If Hearts of Oak, with the problem there, it's not that I'm making advert for the boy. But I can tell you, Hearts of Oak should at least just invite him for trials and have a look at him. Suleimana Idrisu is one of the finest goalkeepers in the Division 1 this season. And if Hearts of Oak are looking for a goalkeeper, they should at least consider him and then give him a trial.
I'm not sure Hearts of Oak are looking for a goalkeeper for a team that brought about 3 goalkeepers.
No, they've used 5 goalkeepers this season.
But I'm not sure they are looking for a goalkeeper because they brought 3 other goalkeepers to the side in January.
They are looking for a goalkeeper. They are chopping and changing. They are rotating the goalkeeper. Yeah. We saw Shoaib. His last game was against Mediema.
No, it was against Karela where he made that error where he kicked the ball against a Karela player. It was against Baby Gold Star. So
at Accra Sports
Stadium.
You see, so against Karela, we saw him as well. After that, they decided to give other people the opportunity. Here, I am telling you, Heart of Oak, pre-season, they'll be actively looking for goalkeepers. Some of them will leave.
It's been Richard Atta.
Then we have the other one.
It's been Ai also imposed for them.
In my eyes, Ai is the best.
Okay. It's been Shayub also imposed. Nketia has also come in for them. So they've used.
Don't forget they have a Korean in their books.
Yes,
he has been injured. He can't just get himself fit.
So they've used 4 different goalkeepers.
Even last
season,
the story was the same.
Yeah, 4 different goalkeepers this season. But it seems they've now found the consistency they want with Kwesi Nketia. That is what I'm saying.
Kwesi Nketia with yesterday, he was decent.
Not just yesterday, he's been in post for them in the last 3 games.
I'm using yesterday because yesterday
game you cannot blame me for the 2.
Yes, I was using yesterday because yesterday he kept a clean sheet.
Okay.
And he mounted a goal with some sort of authority. But Mutala, let's put this thing under perspective. We've seen 4 goalkeepers for Hearts of Oak this season.
Yeah.
Me, Francis, as a pundit, as a journalist, I'll look into this camera and I'll say that it baffles me as to the reason why Richmond I has been banished from the team completely. To me, he is the best.
He was not registered for the second round.
He was not registered at all.
Yeah, for the second
Whoa, wow.
Okay, so I just got a message from the chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee, Mr. Wilsonata, and he is saying that the best goalkeeper in Division 1 last season was Sky FC's Solomon Ohene Nimo.
I wanted to mention it.
Solomon Ohene Nimo.
Yeah.
Fantastic goalkeeper.
He won the award ahead of Osai.
It comes to the point I always make on radio and TV. When you look at our teams in the local league, we don't have bad goalkeepers, but sometimes the handlers in the national team makes it look like we had bad goalkeepers in the system. Just look at the local league.
Felix Che is a brilliant.
We can mention about 3-4 goalkeepers. When given the opportunity around our national teams, they could do well for us. But look at in recent times when you go to national assignments, even in the recent under 17.
Yeah,
one of our major problems was goalkeeping.
And the two
we went to the last AFCON.
Yeah.
One of our major problems was goalkeeping.
That one was a blunder.
Then at 23, and Ibrahim Tanko that were out of the last AFCON. Our major problem was goalkeeping. So our handlers around the national team make it look like we have goalkeeping problem in this country. But we have good goalkeepers. Look at it, previously, when we call blaster players, at least there is a local goalkeeper who make a case to become a number 1 goalkeeper in the Blasters. Jojo, Sammy J, and the likes. In recent times, even goalkeeping departments, foreign players are taking dominion and possession within our national team. So it is something I think going forward, our handlers need to take a second look at it. We have good goalkeepers in the local scene. This is a situation, MTN FA Cup chairman, who owns the Division 1 club, is telling us something about goalkeeping in Division 1. Blackgate has been watching a lot of Division 1 games. He's telling us something about a Division 1 goalkeeper. And I know you will get a lot of message from people who are watching us today.
Mr. Atta says that he's open for business if you want to get Solomon Ohene Nimo. Well, here Solomon Ohene Nimo, the best goalkeeper in the Division 1 last season, he plays for Sky FC. Mr. Wilsonata, the chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee, or say he's open for business.
No,
goalkeepers. There are some fantastic goalkeepers.
He's a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
For him to win the award ahead of Osai and Co last season speaks volumes. And if you look at Sky FC, they were on the brink of qualification to the Premier League last season.
Yeah. If not for Nations.
If Nations
in fact, look at the striker who is doing wonders in Samates.
Baba Musa,
Hamad Musa. He scored the highest number of goals as well. So Sky FC has been brilliant. And in the MTN FA Cup for the past 2 seasons, last season they were in the semi-finals. This season I think they were in the quarter-finals and got eliminated. So it's a brilliant club. I've given them 5 seasons. I believe from last season, they have spent 2 seasons. In the next 3 seasons, I expect to see them in the Premier League.
The funny thing is, when Baba Musa was banging in all those goals in Division 1, there were some scouts that recommended Baba Musa to some of the top clubs in Ghana. Yeah, but they didn't pay heed. They were actually going for strikers outside the country, going to Cameroon, going to Congo.
And Samatex pounced. Samatex pounced and signed the guy.
Of course.
Look at Samatex basically this season. They've added just about 3 players that are mainstay in the team. Richmond Daku, who is a midfielder, Baba Hamadou Musa, and one other guy. And they've complemented the team properly. And look at them now. They are on top of the Ghana Premier League. Just basically, if all permutations go right, just one more win away from winning the Ghana Premier League, they'll be going to play in Africa. So if you look at the Division 1, take the Division 1. Never ever take the Division 1 League of Ghana for granted. Because quality football properly is played in the Division 1. If you watch Division 1 football, you'll be marveled at the kind of football you see being played there. Sometimes being marred by crowd violence or some refereeing decisions that it will shock you. But if you look at quality of football, never ever underrate the Ghana Division 1.
I always talk about this thing on radio and on TV. The gap between players playing in the lower division and the current Premier League.
It's not that huge.
It's not that huge.
It's not huge.
That is why Isaac Opon will move from the lower division. He's a star in Asante Kotoko. Desne Fuapa will move from a lower division. He's a star in Asante Kotoko. The clear example is that. You look at the players who are doing well in Asante Kotoko.
Hamza Issa. Hearts of Oak, 13 goals this season from Division 2.
Ivan Toseusu. A clear example. There are a lot of players in the Premier League who are doing wonders. They came from the Division 1. So the gap between players who are playing in the Premier League and Division 1 is working to perfection for some of these teams in the Premier League. Look at the Samate's team. I always talk about it. They've been lucky with injury free. So the key areas in the team has been injury free. Look at the spine.
Emmanuel Kayeke.
Right from the goalkeeping departments, Kofi Ban, to their central defender, Aqua, to their midfielder, Kayeke, to their attack, Baba Musa, and of course, Ivan Soseusu. The key players in the team has been consistent right from day one. And that is the key success for a team to do well in a domestic football season.
And of course,
and that is working for them.
They are on top of the Ghana Premier League table, and we'll be looking at beating maybe any Gold Stars to further cement their status at the top. You're still watching the Ghana Premier League here on Max TV and also on Star Times at the channel 247. Today, we will be at the Nana Fosuji Abo Park, where Bechem United will take on our local rivals, that is Aduana. It promises to be an interesting one. We take a quick break here, we return, and we'll go straight into that game and discuss the lineup of the two sides. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching Max TV and a Star Times coverage of the Ghana Premier League. It is match day 32, and that is where our concentration is. And today we'll be at the Nana Fosuji Abo Park, where Bechem United will be taking on Aduana FC. This promises to be an interesting one because it is a derby game. Both teams are in the Bono region. That is not the only game that will be played in match day 32. We started yesterday, Hartlepool getting a win against Nations FC. Today, Legon Cities will also play before Kwatano. Then on Sunday, that is tomorrow, Asante Kotoko will come up against Great Olympics with Bechem Chelsea. Not much at stake for both sides in terms of whether they are in danger or whether they are challenging for the title, but this is a derby game, and it always comes up with some form of a heat.
It's huge. It's derby games, mind you, the bragging right is the most important thing. Before the point, the supporters want to have that kind of bragging right over each other. In the first leg, Aduana Stars beats Bechem. I think Bechem United themselves, they would love to reply back in the same rich vein of form. And if you look at what they've been doing, basically, they've not been that poor this season. If you compare them to last season, you say Kasim Mingo helped them to finish in the top 4. But this season, they are not in danger of dropping to the relegation, the same as Aduana Stars. We saw Aduana, they keep blowing hot and cold. We saw them against Hearts of Oak at Accra Sports Stadium, where basically they put the brakes on the Phobians, thereby exposing the cracks in their camp. But the problem with Aduana Stars is they've not been consistent enough in terms of the overall performance across the entire season. But this afternoon at the Nana Fosuji Abo Park, it will be a cracking game, Mutala. These two teams know how to bring out the best in each other. You look at players like Francis Trini, Isaiah Nyako, Clinton Dodu, definitely will light up the occasion. At the other side, look at Sam Adams, Kevin Obeng, Justus Tosuche, the striker they bought from Wafa, who last season didn't live up to the billing, but this season he's trying to find his rhythm and his form. But if you look at this game, you have some experienced players dotted around both teams that will be able to give us an electrifying game over the course of the entire 90 minutes this afternoon.
Of course, and that is the dressing room there of the two teams. This is the dressing room of Bechem United. Their jerseys neatly arranged there. They are poised for action because the first leg of this fixture saw Aduana beat Bechem by a 1-0. So they are looking at retaliating this afternoon because it's a derby game and bragging right is at stake as well as the 3 points. Samuel Laseko 4 will surely be featuring for Bechem United this afternoon. But let's talk about Aduana themselves. Back-to-back wins in their last 2 games, second on the league log.
Mutala, I think when you look at the league, when you cross the 45-point mark, you are 100% guaranteed for next season's Ghana Premier League. As it stands now, Aduana Stars cannot be relegated this season.
Yes.
Bechem United, almost 43 points.
44
points.
Yeah.
So at least they will need at least one more win out of the 3 games. And this is their last but one home game. The last home game that they will play is against House of Folk. And that match, anything can happen in that particular game. So if Mr. Agama and the people around Bechem United want to guarantee Premier League football without any incomobia which they should find a way to win or draw this particular game at home. There will be nothing at stake for them in the Ghana Premier League. So I don't think Bechem can afford to drop points or lose this game at the Nana Akufo-Addo Park. Aduana Stars was slim chance of challenging Samatex, and therefore a win like this would put more pressure on the Samatex game against Bebianu Gold Stars tomorrow at the Nsentire Park. Personally, I think Bechem United should find a way to get at least a win or draw in today's game against the Aduana Stars at the Nana Akufo-Addo Park.
Of course. So that is how Aduana made their way to the Nana Akufo-Addo Park there. The Abbas entering the stadium very, very beautifully branded. And that is the Oja Boys. Their head coach, Yahweh Champon, coming down from the bus. Aduana at a point where seriously challenging for the title, but they let their foot off the gas a bit. And I think that game that saw Samatex go all the way to beat Aduana at the Nana Ajimabedu Park was very pivotal in the title race. That win that Samatex got. You remember that goal that Kayeke scored?
That brilliant goal.
Yeah,
I think one of the best goals I've seen from Samatex this particular season.
Yes.
It's a particular goal. No?
Aduana, they're coming down from the Abbas. But Francis, you look at this Aduana team.
The good news I'm hearing is it looks like the suspended guys are back into the team. That is what I'm hearing from the game.
Okay. So we'll find out shortly as the lineup of the two sides are in. So that is where Aduana is lying on the table. They have 49 points and are second on the league log. And for Bechem United, they are also 7th with 44 points. But Francis, I was talking about Aduana. For the past 2 seasons, they seem to have lost a bit of their mojo. You know the fire that Aduana used to play football with, especially their home form. And it's all gone.
Yeah, Mutala, last season, we all thought Aduana were going to win the league. Up until the last 5 games where they decided to have their own self-destructive tendencies that came to deflate them, where they got banned from home and they played some of their home matches at the Abrankese Stadium. And basically, that was where they lost the league. And the Mediama blitzed past them. Mediama were ruthless in their last 8 matches in the league last season. But if you look at Aduana, they've always been in the top 4 of this league. They've always been at that top half of the league. But their problem is they always find a way to get themselves out of the running to win the league in their last 4 or 5 matches. And this season as well, they were the only team that were somehow, together with Nations FC, pushing Samatex all the way through. Like you said, first, you can never go to the home of Aduana to even think about getting a draw. If you get a draw, it feels like a win for an away team. But in the last 2 seasons, they've lost that home invincibility where teams now feel like they can go there and beat them. We saw Samatex. Kayeke scored an absolute top draw against them at their home ground in the league this season. And their problem there is they keep blowing hot and cold at home. Look at their last 5 matches. They lost to Gold Stars. They lost to Karela at home. They played draw with Accra Lions. They beat Hearts of Oak. And then they beat Nations FC. So en route to beating Hearts of Oak, their form guide hasn't been decent. But after beating Hearts of Oak, they went back home to beat Nations FC. And it was a top 3 fixture last weekend. And they managed to get the odd positive goal to win the game. So you can tell that their form has basically picked up. Against Bechem United, their regional rivals this afternoon, we all don't know what they are bringing on board. But when they switch on their mentality and focus and they want to play good football, they sometimes play a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 formation with rotation. And Emmanuel Jemfi has always been at the heart of whatever they do. So we live to see what they'll come up with this afternoon at the Nana Fosu Jiabwa Park.
So this is Aduana is away from their last 5 games in the Ghana Premier League, where they've been on the road. They've lost 4-2 to Great Olympics, then they lost by a goal to nil to Bofakwa before losing by a goal to nil as well to Baby Eddie Gold Stars. They drew goalless with Accra Lions, and their last away game saw them beat Hartlepool by a goal to nil. So going into this game, they go with a lot of confidence. And then, do you think Aduana missing out on the title last season, where they had their destiny in their own hands until they slipped up for Mediama to win, has had a toll on the team in terms of their mentality?
Not really, but I think, in recent times they've lost some key players, and some of their key players are also aging. They need to blend the team with some young players to make things work for Yahweh champion side. In recent times, there were key players who were helping the Aduana Stars team. With those players, this particular season has not been part of the team. And I think they have a lot of experienced players in the team. Going forward, I think there should be more young players with some few experienced players to get the job done for the Aduana Stars team. So I think it's a 50-50 affair. So season no one to win the league in the last year, it's having a toll on them. I think it will work for them going forward, but they've not been bad. Let's see what happens in today's game against Bechem.
Okay, so let's go through the lineup of the two teams and see which men have been selected for this afternoon's attacks. Let's start with Bechem United. That is where they have Dari Aziz Haruna in post for them. He's the captain of the side today. Francis Akwa is in there. Samuel Oseko for Emmanuel Arno. Isaiah Nyako. Clinton Dodu is starting for Bechem United. Joseph King for Seth Kwajo. Boat Reagan. Emmanuel Aban and David Asenso Asabre is also starting for them. For Aduana, they are also starting with Masoud Inusa, who is the goalkeeper and also the captain of the side today. Emmanuel Obobi, Rich Saki, Kelvin Obain, Richard Tete, Frank Owusu, Richard Mahama, Brighton Cho, Yusuf Alhassan Chipsa, Richard Efriye, and Raymond Ajmai. How many riches does Aduana have in their lineup? They have about 3 riches there. Alex Boache is suspended for the game because he received a red card in their last game. But let's look at the men on the bench for both sides, and let's do that of Bechem United, because Benjamin Asiedu Kwesi is on the bench for them. Francis Shene has been relegated to the bench today. Joseph Papa Yao Yebua, Gabriel Yapi Tenlep, Adam Sanut, Emmanuel Owusu Kojo, Owusu Achiao, Charles Owusu Ebenezer, Edu Kwao Bodi is also on the bench for them. And for Aduana, it is Anderson Fifia, Samoa Samson, Kobina, Douglas Owusu Ansa, Maxwell Jordan Yebua, Justus Tosuche, Fatau Neri, and of course Gabriel Akwesi Mensah.
It means the suspended guys are still not back.
Yeah, they are not back into the squad.
And Alex Boachi is also getting 7 days suspension. So it means Ansafu Fro is not back. Emmanuel Jemfi is not back. Sam Adams is not back. And now
all these guys are not back.
And now Alex Boachi is also.
So Aduana are missing some very key players in this game, but let's see how that one goes. So let's go to the Nana Fosu Jiabwa Park and take the comments of the coaches ahead of the game. Yahweh Champo, the head coach of Aduana, are also confident that today it will go well for them. The first leg of this fixture saw them beat Bechem by a goal to nil. So they are poised for action. You heard from the two coaches, Francis, or coming in for the win. They know it's a derby game and the bragging rights are stake.
Yeah, sure. If you look at what they all want to play attacking football. None of them is ready to come and play any soak pressure and counter attack. And if you look at Bechem United, they have some explosive, exciting players in their fold. You look at a player like Clinton Dodu. You don't give him space. If you give him space, he will run you down. He's one of the quickest players in the league. And with the ball at his feet, he can unlock any defensive unit. And in terms of his finishing instinct, he's not as bad as people think he is. It's all about his mood. And when he's in the mood, he's a hell of a player for any team. On the other side, you look at Kelvin Obain. After they bought him from Chelsea, last season they were looking out for him to be the main marksman for them. He struggled a bit. But this season, I think he has been decent a little bit for them than last season. So basically, he will have to have his own battle with Samuel Oseko for the centre back for Bechem United. So we'll have some fascinating duels across the pitch over the course of the 90 minutes. This match will be a very lively game over the course of the 90 minutes.
One player that I get excited anytime I see him playing for Bechem United is Clinton Dodu. So much potential. After about 2 seasons, he's still there and doing it for them.
And the good thing is this time around, we now call up into the under-20 team.
Yeah.
So he was part of the team Desmond was training with at Pram in the course of the week. So he returned back to Bechem just Thursday ago, just 2 days ago, to join his teammate ahead of today's game, and he's in the team today. So I'm happy for him. You know, in recent times he has been consistent in the last 3 seasons for Bechem United. Even the days of Avignon, Hafiz Konkoni, and the likes, he was a key player in the team of Augustine Okra and staff. He was a key player in the team, so it's good to be back in that team. Maybe we may see the best out of him in today's game. Of course,
and so that is Bechem United on your screens there during the warm-up. Poised for action because today is a derby day and they need to pick up all 3 points to silence their rivals. That is Aduana. Aduana are also coming into this game on the back of some good victories against Heart of Oak, and of course they got 1-2 against Accra Lions. So it is a very Nations FC. Sorry. So the game is poised for some interesting battles, and you talked about some battles that you are relishing in this game. Kelvin Obeng,
Samuel Osei
Kufuor. I'm also looking at the likes of Brighton Chill. I mean, coming up against Clinton Dodo. I mean, you know, Clinton Dodo has a lot of pace, and he can be troublesome.
He can be very troublesome. The thing is, you don't give him that space. If you give him a little bit of space, and he clips into full gear, it will be extremely difficult for you to catch up with him because he's young. He's very athletic.
He likes it when the game stretches where he can run at the opponents. Yeah,
especially on the overloads. When the game got squeezed to one side, he disguises himself to the other side, and if he gets located with those kind of long diagonal passes into the channel, and he takes off, it will be difficult. You listen to the coach, Yawa Champon. He said from him they have some athletic players. He described that they have some athletic players in the team. He's basically talking about Clinton Dodo with the kind of energy that he has to bend. You don't want to go one-on-one with him, or you give him a yard of space to be able to exploit. Because when he starts running, that's him on the screen there. It's extremely difficult for defenders to deal with him.
Clinton Dodo on your screens there. I mean, when you go to Bechem and its environment, some of them Bechem Bruni, one of the young players that they brought into their ranks, very, very talented with a lot of potential. Sorry, recently we saw him team up with Desmond Ofe in the under-20 Cup, and he will be doing a good job for Ghana.
Yawa Champo was talking about the way he has managed to cope with about 4 or 5 key players who have been
with the absence of all these
players, especially when he came to Accra, he got the maximum 3 points against Heart of Oak. That is the strength of a good coach. When a player is injured, when a player is suspended, when a player is being punished by leaders of the club, you should find a way to get the best out of the players available to you. That is why you registered more than 25 players for the season. And I think Yawa Champo as a manager has done a good job on that. Especially your 2 key wingers missing from these games, Jamfi and of course Sam Adams. These are key players to Aduana stars. And of course, Bright J too is a key player. Yansafufro is a key player.
Bright J is their top scorer.
Is their top scorer.
Yeah,
and,
with
now
7 goals.
Alex Boach is also serving a suspension. So Yawa Champo as a manager has done a great job with the squad.
They've missed a lot of key players in their team, but they would have to make do with what they have, and that is what the coach has said, that despite the fact that they are missing the likes of Bright J, they would go all out and pour their heart out as far as this game is concerned. They will play with a lot of energy and intensity with the aim of getting all 3 points. So Masoud Inusa is imposed for them. Emmanuel Bobi, Rich Saki, Kelvin Obeng, who scored against Heart of Oak, is also starting for them. Richard Tete, Frank Owusu, the midfield dynamo, is also in there. Richard Mahama, Brighton Chill, Yusuf Alhassa, Chipsa. Then we have Richard Efriye and of course Raymond Ajiman there. So just to Suche could only get a place on the bench for his team. He has also struggled a bit ever since he made that move from Wafa. He was one of the scariest strikers in the Ghana Premier League some time back.
He's a military man.
He's a military officer. Yeah,
he's a military officer. So with when he was playing for Wafa, he was one of the star men of the team. together with is it Agbevo, the young chap that went.
Honestly, I was surprised to notice that he is still at Aduana for this season, because last season he's really suffered in front of goal. He struggled a lot, but he's made some good. He showed off the quality that he has for Aduana in some games there, and that has been good for him, because he needs that kind of confidence that they do to move from Wafa as one of their top strikers, come to a big team like Aduana, hoping that things will go well for you, only to struggle.
I think the 4 minutes but going forward, Tosuche with hard work will come back to his best days in the Ghana Premier League. So I'm sure as time goes on, we may see the best out of Tosuche.
Of course, we may see the best out of Justus Tosuche there. So for Bechem United, it is Dari Aziz Haruna who is in post for them. He's the captain of the side as well. Francis Aqua is also started for them. Samuel Sekufor, their defender who went away, is back. Emmanuel, another young striker, is in there. Isaiah Nyako, Clinton Duodo, Joseph Kenfo is starting. Seth Kwajo is also in there. Both Reagan. Then we have Emmanuel Aban and David Asenso Asabre is also starting for them. On the bench, it is Benjamin Asiedu Kwesi, Francis Trine, James Papaya Oyeboa, Gabriel Tenleb, Adam Sanut, Emmanuel Owusu, Kwajo Owusu Achiao, James Charles Owusu, and of course Ebenezer Edu Kwao. Now let's cross over to the Nana Fosuji Abo Park and enjoy the first half of